Hi, everybody. We are going to do a fun little animation that we did in class. Did a new file, new project here in Premiere. I'm going to grab some photos that I want to use. I'm going to make sure that I'm not creating a new sequence. I don't want that. I'm going to hit import. All right, so this is the timeline we are going to use, just so you can see what we're going to do. Let me pull this down. This is what we're going to create, something that looks a little bit like that, just playing around. All right. So I'm going to delete that here. But we're going to use our images here to create something fun. So what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to grab each of these images and pull them down into my timeline. So that one. So should see all of those, and I'm not sure why those didn't pop up first. So I'm going to resize these. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I can double click on them to get my bounding box and resize that way. Just dragging in the corners. I can also go over to my effect controls. There is a scale here. I can, if I would like to, I can drag in, decrease that size, and then adjust where I want that on the screen. Go down a little bit smaller. Okay. So there is image number 1. Okay, I've got the cathedral here. I'm not sure which one that is, so I'm going to pull it in this way. I'm going to make it the same height as that image. My London one, and I'm going to just scale them in this way. But you can do the double click if that makes more sense to you. So if you want to double click and grab and pull that in. And then my last one, I'm going to pull up here and make bigger and have it sort of sit right there. Okay, so I've got my 4 images. The next thing I want to do is I want to pull in some text. So I'm going to click in my down in my timeline just so nothing is highlighted. Make sure my playhead is here because that's where I want the text to start. I grab my text tool and type in London Ag just for fun. So I'm going to then go up to, I can do my effect controls. There will be my text here. I can play there, or I can actually go to my properties too. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to give it a different font, a little bigger size. I'm actually going to make it all caps for fun. And then just move it over here. And I want to put a drop shadow. So I can, if I scroll down on appearance, I can grab a drop shadow there. So I'll do a little drop shadow so that pops out. And actually, I might move that up here. Just there we go. Okay. So now I have these 4 pieces. So I'm going to start animating. I'm going to go to my effect controls. So everything is in your effect controls. And my thing down here, so it's out of the way. So everything is in my effect controls. Right now, I've got my text highlighted. So I want to make sure I'm under the video here, where I can see position, scale, all of those things. I'm going to shrink this down and move this over. If you can't see your effect controls here, you can always go up to the window workspace essentials to get that. You also can do grid effects that would help you. So I want to be able to see this. This is my timeline that I'm working with. So right now, as I pull it across, It's just everything. Nothing's moving. And we can tell it's a 5-second thing. It's very similar to the timeline down here. It sort of mirrors it, but this is going to be where all of our keyframes go. So I'm going to start with my text, and I'm going to position my text off screen. So I'm actually going to scroll it to the left. I can do that two ways. I can grab my arrow and click and drag, or I can use my X or Y coordinates here. So the most important thing is I move it, and then I'm going to give it a position. So I'm going to keyframe it. And what that does is it puts this little diamond keyframe here, saying that's the starting position for that channel. I'm going to pull it over here. And however long you give it is how long it's going to take to come back in. So I don't want to go too long, but now I'm going to pull there back in. I like doing it with the numbers instead of the arrow because then I can know that it's coming in really smoothly and I don't have to worry. So I'll pull back. Okay. That automatically made a keyframe when I started changing that text. If that does not automatically do it for you, you can hit this little circle here next to the position, and it's the add keyframe button. So you can do that. So now I'm going to, we're going to do that for each layer or channel. So I'm going to pull that back over. I'm going to start with this image. And I want to give it a keyframe there. And I want to move this one off to the side. So it starts off to the side. Pull it over here. So right about a little bit before the text is there, I want it to show back up. So I'll pull it back in. So now it and the text come in, and the text comes in a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the beginning and go to the next channel. This one, I'm going to slide off to the right, set that keyframe, pull over there, slide that one back in place. Okay, so I'm however I want to do that. Go to the cathedral one. Again, pulling back to the beginning here. This one I want to move. I want to come up. Oop, wrong way. I want to come up. So I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to use my y-axis here. Give it that position. Drag to where I want to set my second keyframe. Looks like those two are in position there. Pull this back up. Exactly where I want it. And it's giving me my position keyframe. Last one. Gonna go back to the beginning. And I am gonna have this one come from the top. So we'll go there, set position keyframe. Again, I'm just hitting that stopwatch there, pulling this over to where the others are in, and drop that back down. Perfect. So it's given me that. So now if I come over here and I press play, awesome. Now maybe I want this text to come over just a little bit more. So I'm gonna go back to my keyframe here. And I'm going to pull that in just a little bit more. So now they come in and it's there. Awesome. So the other thing you saw were some lines. So maybe I want to add some lines to this. So I'm going to pull this up so I can see some more channels. I'm going to add a new channel here. I'm just going to have everything unhighlighted. And I'm going to use my rectangle tool. And I'm going to draw a very thin rectangle to make a line. My line can't see it. So what's nice is I can go over to properties here. One, I think I'm going to make this like a dark solid line. And I'm let me give it a shadow so it stands out. The other thing I notice, let's see. It's a little too skinny, isn't it? So we're gonna make it just a tiny bit bigger so we can see it. Okay. So I've got this line. Go back to my effect controls. I can actually double click and I can copy and paste, or because I want to duplicate this line and have it exactly the same, I can right click on it and duplicate. And you'll see it made a new shape here. And I will, my arrow tool, pull that duplicate line down so it comes in like that. And then I'm going to draw two more that go vertical that way. And again, I'm going to just duplicate just to make that easy on me, or I could just redraw it. Pull it over. Okay, so with this graphic, I actually want this graphic to start way back here. And I'm going to go to the beginning of my timeline. Now, if I look at this, I've got black on black, so that's not going to work. So I'm going to come here. I think we'll go back to maybe a whitish color. So let me change that color to my little whitish color. These. And last but not least, my last one. Okay. So now they're all, we can see them. Okay. So I'm going to start with these on screen. I like them on screen. So I can change their paths here in my effect control. So I'm going to set my keyframe here for that's where I want it to start. I want it to go away though. So I'm going to, actually, I'm going to go ahead for each of these and set a starting position for each one of these. So again, I'm just going through, it's almost like my layers here, giving them all a little position. So I've got my three, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes. So now when we get to about here, I want those lines gone. So I am going to take that. To do my y-axis, I want it to go down. So it's gonna shrink back up. So my next shape, when it's at that same point, I want it to shrink back up. Okay, my third shape here, to go back to the side. And then my fourth one, I want to also go back to the side. So I was able to do all of those 4 at the same time. I think I got all of them. We'll find out. So, oh, I missed one. Let's get this last one. just did not create my keyframe, so I'll make my keyframe there. Okay. So I want them gone. It never created my keyframe when it's there. I want it to be over here. So see, sometimes it works and you just have to adjust a little bit. So I'm just having to play that last one wants to be funny. So I'm going to go to that keyframe and back out. There we go. So I just had to redo it. Just wanted to be cantankerous. All right. So if we do that, it still wants to be cantankerous, but you're getting the idea. So if I come down here and play it, it's giving us that quick, fun little animation that I can then put a new video on.